And there's a experience, a new employee experience that just is a wow. There's, when you show up on the first day, the business cards are printed, the balloons are there. There's a card from your fellow teammates. There's a announcement to the company that you walk around. It's like, hey, yeah, great. I love the picture of your dog. It starts with, that's your most valuable asset. So they go home that night and they say, oh my God, where did I land? How did I get so lucky? And that energy pervades them for their life over the course of being here.
Here's the thing. The fastest growing companies in the world, they're small businesses, often with less than 100 employees. So how are gritty entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders like us going up against massive markets, scaling teams, building systems, and skyrocketing to success before crashing and burning? This podcast will give you those answers. My name is Chris Ronzio. Welcome to the fastest growing companies. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Chris Ronzio, and today we're here with Stephen King. He's the CEO and founder of GrowthForce. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Chris.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. It's fun.
So tell us real quick, just what is GrowthForce? What do you guys do?
Sure. GrowthForce is an outsourced accounting department over the web that helps focus on companies that are frustrated that they're not getting actionable financial intelligence. They can't make decisions with data. They're worried about cash flow. And they are, they're spending a lot of money to do things very manually. We give you a team and a QuickBooks-centric smart back office to automate the whole back office and give you dedicated bookkeeper, accounting, and controller. So you get data to help you run better, grow faster, and make more money. And then we help you as an advisor to run better, grow faster, and make more money.
So if finance and accounting aren't someone's passionate thing that they should be doing in their business, that's why they hire you guys.
Yes, exactly. We help take it from a weakness to a strength.
Got it. Okay. So why this business? Tell us the founding story. Like what came to starting this?
I'm a son of an Irish farmer. My mother was an Irish daughter of a farmer's daughter in the poorest county of Ireland. And, the eldest son has to work the farm. In my case, she married somebody from Dublin, and he became an accountant, and the family farm became accounting. So I was in the basement helping my dad add up checks and, help him get tax returns done so we could make a couple extra shillings. And I just loved it. I've been doing it for 36 years. I've been a CPA this is my sixth recession. And, what I really find now is helping businesses achieve that American dream and helping nonprofits. I got to be the CFO of Amnesty International after Bruce Springsteen and Peter Gabriel and Sting did their worldwide tour. Wow. So we know a lot about mixing the accounting with the fundraising. So, it's just a passion. It always has been.
I love that. So, I've bumped into a lot of people over the years that do bookkeeping or outsourced CFO kind of services, but not many of them, or very few that I remember, have scaled the business like you have. So you were saying right before we jumped on, you're at about 56 people today. How did you grow that quickly? Like, what do you think is the secret sauce to breaking past a 1 or 2 person shop to where you guys are?
It's people that drive profits. Full stop. I learned that, the hard way. in my late 40s, 15 years ago. And you need both a human capital strategy and a financial management strategy to achieve success. Because I've been doing a lot of accounting for a lot of people, and I look at the difference between the companies that are wildly successful living that American dream and the ones that struggle to survive. And it's the ones who have built a high performing team that stays together for a really long time, that is passionate about what they do. Those are the companies that make it. Because if the people stay a long time, the clients stay a long time.
Yeah, that continuity is important because you get a relationship with whoever's doing your books. And if they leave, it probably rocks your trust, right?
Yeah, you start to think, oh, now, the new person comes in, can't possibly know as much as the person who's been working on the account for 6 years.
Right.
And so now it's like, oh, well, you know what? We might as well hire somebody. Or, let's see if we can save some money because they're not great. The value goes down. Our small business is run on tribal knowledge. A member of the tribe leaves, so does the knowledge.
Yeah. So take us back then to the beginning. 2005, you said, who were your first couple hires? What did you first take off your plate to get this started?
The accounting manager, QuickBooks systems. I hired management down to bookkeepers. and knowing that a manager could do the bookkeeping, but a bookkeeping couldn't do the management. I said the first thing that I did was define, why do we exist? What's unique about our business? The riches are in the niches. You can't serve everybody, and you can't be all things to all people. So, mission, vision, values. I got lucky. I started a company called Virtual Growth right at the dawn of internet. Netscape 1.0 came out in 1994. I started Virtual Growth in 95. We raised 43 million in venture capital funding. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way, right? Got to 270 people in 7 cities doing the exact same business I'm in right now. So I was a little bit fortunate to get a reboot, right? To get a chance to learn. And I realized that single, simple, unifying mission that Jim Collins talks about in Good to Great is so key. So we started with, we don't want to just do the books. We want to help you make more money. We want to help you live the American dream. And so, that defining your unique selling proposition, your USP, helps you define your customer. So then once you figure out the customer, then okay, what kind of skill sets do we need to hire? What kind of person am I looking for? And so the way I learned to do that, even as a very small company, was be intentional about the culture. With everybody you bring on, make sure that this is somebody that has the same values, that has the same beliefs. You can teach skills, but you can't teach snap. You can't teach accountability. You can't teach meaningful work.
Yeah.
And by finding people who are passionate about serving small businesses and nonprofits in QuickBooks, it was really easy then to help you, build a team.
So did you feel like that vision component was missing in your first business, and that's something you wanted to do over?
No, the culture by design was missing in the first business. And that's exactly what I remember turning around at one point. We were at a management team meeting. We had like 40 managers. And I remember thinking, oh my God, these people are jerks. Who hired them? I would never work for that guy.
Wow.
And there was a lot of backbiting and a lot of just bad, toxic culture. And it was the .com days. Everybody was fighting for stock options. It's just, and I that culture by design, even as early days, helped. I got to sell that company, that Virtual Growth, to Insperity. They rescued us after September 11th, and so I learned a lot about the HR side, because I was now working for the CEO of a $4 billion PEO, an outsourced HR company.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized when I walked in the door there the first time. I was like, wow, there's 2,500 people here who love what they do, who are passionate about serving HR to small businesses, and they don't quit. And I learned, over the next 3 years there, that culture by design, and then became a client right away when I spun off. And what they did was they helped us figure out the culture. I had 6 or 7 employees, and they said, who's your best? Who's the person that you would say epitomize the kind of values that you would like to repeat? And it was real easy. I said, Marcia. She was a bookkeeper. She was going to school at night at Lone Star College. I was on the advisory board. The professor recommended her. She was passionate about her job. She was so thankful to be able to do this work and then go to accounting school at night. And then, she always did what she said, and she'd say what she'd do. She was accountable. And she was a problem solver. She could, find on YouTube exactly how to do whatever needed to get done. And she was a team player. She was the one who walked around every day around 9:30, 10 a.m. What are we doing for lunch? Chinese food? You want Chinese? We had Chinese last Friday. Who wants Chinese? And so we literally built that core values around the behaviors of the people that we loved the most.
Such a good tip. And I want everyone to listen to this and hear it again, that if they can find the people in their organization that are their all-stars, or the people they wish everyone behaved like, those are the people that have the core values baked into them. And if you don't have them explicitly stated, look at those high performers, look at the people you wish you had 100 of, and try to pick apart the attributes. One way that we did it in the past was, if you had someone that didn't work out, we'd sit down and talk about why they didn't work out. And then you kind of back into what some of your core values are. So that's another way we did it.
Yeah. I've heard some people say core values are the things that you get fired for not doing.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you just said, right? this did not work out because we're firing you because of this. Well, then it must be important enough to make it a core value.
Yeah. So as you created this culture by design, what's one hiring tip or screening tip that you'd recommend to everyone so that they make sure the people that they bring on are great?
Yeah, I when we started with Inspirity's recruiting, this is one of the things I learned is recruiting is not a HR function. It's a marketing function. You got to think of these recruits as the most important prospect you will ever sell to. Because if you close a deal with one A player, that's worth 100 A clients. And so it's a whole mindset of starting with the job, announce the advertisement. We used to put ads in the paper that would say bookkeeper wanted. I tell you how old I am. It says, this is going back to paper, right? Okay.
Paper.
But even online, bookkeeper wanted, $45,000 plus great benefits, front of Kingwood, Texas, QuickBooks experience a must, CPA firm experience a plus, contact this. The A players already have a job. They're not looking for a job. They're smart enough to go explore to see what's out there. You want to understand what's valuable to them, just like a prospect, right? What's their pain and what's your unique selling proposition to help address that pain? It's a marketing campaign. So, and there's 4 generations in the marketplace, and each generation has different needs. Baby boomers like me, we have worked for people that are jerks, and we're not going to do that again. So you need to have a no jerk rule, right? You need our millennials, who anybody who doesn't says millennials aren't hardworking, misses the boat. If you get them, if they're passionate, they work on nonstop because the devices are always connected. They want to have fun.
Yeah.
They want to have work-life balance. They want to live in balance, not just have work-life balance. They want to live in balance. They don't mind doing something on a Saturday if it's easy and at home. They want the latest technology. They want you to invest in their skills, keep current, but they want to have fun because it's the journey, not the destination. And so your recruit for a millennial has to say something like, do you want to join a company that really understands that this is just work, and that you join us, our family, on a journey to help explore your talents and learn the new technologies and be able to fulfill your life by helping small businesses and nonprofits live that American dream, then contact us.
And that's a lot different than the ad in the paper for the bookkeeper.
Yeah, you'll figure out this if they have the skills to pay the bills. You can teach skills. And then treat them like a number one prospect. If when a prospect comes to the office, we have a hybrid model. So we have a big service center in Kingwood, Texas, and virtual everything. And when somebody shows up, though, there's an itinerary. Here's who you're going to meet. Like when I went to Ernst & Young, right? I was a senior in college, and I got at the front door. I was like, "Hello, Mr. King. We've been expecting you. Here's your day."
Yeah.
And there's a experience, a new employee experience that just is a wow. There's, when you show up on the first day, the business cards are printed. The balloons are there. There's a card from your fellow teammates. There's an announcement to the company that you walk around. It's like, hey, yeah, great. I love the picture of your dog. It starts with, that's your most valuable asset. So they go home that night and they say, oh my God, where did I land? How did I get so lucky? And that energy pervades them for their life over the course of being here.
I hope everyone is listening to this, because how much Stephen is talking about employee experience, just how recruiting is marketing and how your culture is everything. I mean, investing in your team, growing your people grows your business, like you said at the very beginning. And so I love how much attention it sounds like you put into this. Now, as a service kind of business, you, of course, have a correlation between the number of clients you serve and the number of people that are doing that kind of work, right? So how do you predict or forecast when you need to bring on the next person?
Well, we're accountants, right? So this is what we do for our clients. I mean, we're management accountants is really, so what we're doing is we calculate what's an average client equivalent, right? What does a one normal client look like? How many hours of an accounting manager, of a staff accountant, of a bookkeeper? And then how many clients can that team handle? And then you forecast from our sales forecast, how many clients are coming on. We have an onboarding process that takes 2 to 3 months for us to automate and integrate and document the whole process, and then train the people. So there's, it's all modeled. How many prospects have we got at the top of the funnel coming down into how many proposals, how many closed deals every month, and then there's slots, and you fill a slot up, and it's like a machine. I don't know how else to describe it.
I knew you'd have an equation or some kind of math problem. So thank you for breaking that down. Now, a lot of people, when they think about growing their team, struggle to delegate. They don't want to take things off their plate, or they don't think that the other people will be able to do it as well. So over the years, what have you learned, or what would you say to those people?
Comes back to hiring the A players, right? I mean, I was a manager of accounting system design at Ernst & Young. So this is my baby. I'm a process guy, right? And then we hired, the woman who co-wrote the QuickBooks Pro Advisor training manual. And all of a sudden I started realizing she knows more than me. It's easy when you're hiring people who are better than you, right? Who actually, you trust. I had a hard time giving up on sales and marketing because, it's a personal brand. It's accounting is just not the normal thing. And, just recently we're an EOS shop. EOS. Yeah. Gino Wickman and Traction, the entrepreneur organizing system.
Of course.
So you got the book right there. I know, right? It's wonderful. So many people do. What I had to learn to do, and I just did it. I just did it 6 months ago. So I'm in the visionary role. I'm the guy who's in charge of the product and the closing the big deals and helping make sure that the systems are in place, and macro, and then underneath me I have a COO, the integrator. And it wasn't until I really had faith and trust in our Loretta, our COO. It's easy when you trust the person and you get alignment. This is the other part, right? The EOS process does is, step one is define who you are, your customer, and why you're unique. This is a one-page process where you define exactly what your mission, your vision, your values, your core processes are. And then when me and Loretta and the management team can look at one piece of paper and get alignment around that, I find that's what lets you let go. I don't worry anymore about, are they going to do what I want them to do? No, we've all agreed what we're going to do, and I feel good about it, and they feel good about it. It's not necessarily what I want to do anymore. But because they're A players, they're smart. They've actually changed my mind, and we end up with a better plan because they own it. Does that help? Did I answer your question?
Absolutely. I mean, alignment is so crucial, and the distinction between what you do as a visionary and what you said Loretta does as your integrator, it's just understanding roles, responsibilities, what you're great at, what she's great at, and then the system works. So as long as you have alignment, the system works. So I love that. It sounds like you're growing, you're doing a lot. That's exciting. So what's next for GrowthForce? What's on the horizon for you?
Well, it's building out the next level of management, and the more advanced systems like profit sharing and succession planning and all that kind of stuff starts to come into play. I think, we have this 5 steps to profitability. 1 is define your customer. 2 is culture by design. 3 is written goals. The simple act of writing down goals changes everything in goal alignment. Step 4 is where we come in, which is the keeping score, right? But I think the most interesting part is step 5, which is recognition and reward. And recognition being first. Reward is important. You got to pay people a salary and benefits and bonuses that allow them to live the lifestyle they've grown accustomed to. But what we all really need is to belong to something bigger than ourselves. Maslow hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
And so by having clear written goals and cascading them down from the company to the department, from each manager down to the individual, so everybody has a line of sight between what they're doing and what success is in the company, and then why success for them is good for them and their family, right? What's the reward system? That's what brings it all together. And that's the hard part. I see most of the companies we work with don't get that far, but it's the magic sauce, because then everybody starts acting like owners.
Yeah. I love that. So well said. Stephen King, everyone, with GrowthForce. Stephen built a company and sold it to Insperity, an amazing feat by itself. And then in 2005, started GrowthForce, which has since grown to 56 people and counting. He's got a lot of exciting things on the horizon. And please replay this episode again to see how he has built this culture by design and put so much intent into how he structures his organization and gets alignment with his people. So, Stephen, thanks so much for being here. If people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to contact you?
Email is the best. It's Stephen, STEPHEN, @growthforce.com. Our website, you can stop by and visit us virtually. We got a lot of advice, and we can answer any questions anytime on our website, which is www.growthforce.com, GROWTH force.com. Or I'm on LinkedIn as Stephen King CPA and Twitter SKingGForce.
I love it. All right. Well, everyone, reach out to Stephen. Check out growthforce.com. Hopefully you can borrow a page from his playbook as you build out yours. Stephen, thanks again for being here.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Fastest Growing Companies podcast. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. If you found the information helpful, share it with your friends and family that can benefit from it. You can also find Trainual's company account @Trainual, just like a training manual. We'll see you next time.